as you packed into a beautiful church in Evanston's 5th Ward, as I remember, to celebrate the passing of this new bill. We were amazed that we were able to capture that. And when we started to realize that this was historic, that it had never been done, we thought we should shift our film to capturing what was happening in Evanston. And so we have been following you as you've implemented the nation's first ever reparations law.
We cannot erase our history of anti-Black laws and culture, but we can repair it.
$10 million in reparations over 10 years. First up, $400,000 to compensate for past discriminatory housing practices. Individual grants of up to $25,000 a person to Black residents who can show they or their families lived in the city between 1919 and 1969. The money can be used for down payments, mortgage payments, repairs, or home improvements.
What I wanted to understand was, as you talked about the $400K that was allocated from the cannabis tax, what I want to understand with the current dispensary that you have, is that a white dispensary or a Black dispensary? And the reason why I'm asking, because it seems kind of insane if we're taking money from a Black dispensary to give what we're calling reparations to Black people.
Well, the money is not being taken. The money is part of the state requirements. So the 3%, it was going to go to the state or to the city. So I'd rather come back to us locally than go to the state of Illinois. So it's part of, let's just say 3% of the bigger picture. I think the state is like 20-some% tax on cannabis. So as to who owns, I can't speak to the ownership. I'm going to say, realistically, looking at the news in the paper, the person is probably owned by a white entity. I definitely would think that. So if you're an ancestor, the only documents that you will need to provide the city is a current driver's license or government issued ID, and a document that shows your residency within Evanston between 1919 and 1969. Remember, you have to be at least 18 at that time. So if you were a minor and your parents were over the age of 18, then you would actually be considered a direct descendant at category.
More than 600 people applied for the housing program, according to city officials. But initially, only 16 eligible Black residents are going to receive $25,000 to be used for home down payments, mortgage payments, or home repairs. The nonprofit, the Community Partners for Affordable Housing, will be facilitating the payments and providing free housing counseling services for those selected.
My name is Jonathan Wilson. I'm the Director of Mortgages at Liberty Bank and Trust. To the members of the committee and the chairman, thank you for allowing us to share a little bit about our company. Since 1972, Liberty Bank and Trust was formed with a focus on service, integrity, and sincere interest in building the communities through home ownership and business development. We are currently the largest wholly owned African American bank in the country, operating in 10 states with assets exceeding $1 billion. At Liberty, we pride ourselves on working to provide financial opportunities to all communities. Our CEO, Alden McDonald Jr., is committed to providing cost-effective delivery of high-quality, innovative, customer-driven financial products and services to diverse markets with a focus on disadvantaged communities who have been traditionally underserved.
Former Alderman Robin Rue Simmons drew the number of the first recipient. A moving moment for Simmons. She led the push for reparations in the city.
If the individual at the time that they have been selected are not prepared to move forward with the program, we will keep them in the process, but we will move on to the next person. I mean, at the end of the day, they have a year to spend the funds, but if they're trying to obtain a loan and in the process of doing it, and in doing so, they're not ready, we're not going to just sit on the funds. We want to get the money out to the community. And so we will continue to go through the process of the next individual, but they will not be eliminated. They will not be, removed. It just unless they forfeit and say, I decided not to move forward with the program, then they forfeit. That's a separate process that they have to go through. The idea, though, is that we will go through that every person The goal is that we want to be able to go to city council and say, we need more money to fund this program so that we can ensure everyone that's been qualified will get funding in a timely fashion.
Evanston, Illinois has become the first to provide reparations. A commission has found that blacks from 1919 to 1969 living in Evanston were unjustly excluded from governmental programs. The panel of commission decided on a phase 1 of reparations to include a $25,000 mortgage or home improvement allocation to descendants of Evanston. The process includes an application to determine eligibility. The plan has received some pushback from possible descendants. The plan has certain caveats that exclude persons living outside of Evanston. Additional concerns have been raised that not all descendants own homes and may not qualify. The panel has ensured there will be more reparations to come. The Evanston Committee has 10 years to disperse a federally recognized $10 million reparation fund.